So how do you find the top or the bottom in a market? This is a question that a lot of traders have asked me in the past. A lot of people are wondering, and everybody just wants to find the top or bottom because that presents the largest opportunity out there. But what if I told you you don't need to catch the bottom or the top to make a profit in the market? Let me explain. If you're looking for the bottom and you miss it, you're probably going to lose some money. But instead of trying to take advantage of I'm actually covering this with my face cam. So if you're trying to catch the bottom, right, and you miss the bottom and your entry's right here and your order doesn't get triggered, well, then you just missed out on a whole move. Or even worse, you bought in thinking that this was the bottom and you made a huge loss, right? This is not good. But instead of trying to catch the bottom, why wouldn't you just simply, instead of catching the entire move from the bottom to the top, why not just settle for a smaller move, but a more consistent one? So a move that you can always take advantage of. And that's what I'm going to show you in today's video. So we're looking at Bitcoin's chart right now on the weekly time frame, and we do see a few interesting things. First of all, we're sitting on a strong zone of support from the previous all-time high level. Second of all, we are having another zone of support down around the 12 or 10K level, whatever you want to call it. I will just make it a huge support right here. And in general, we have a few different things that Bitcoin is able to do in the next upcoming weeks and months that I'm going to show you right now. So first and foremost, how to actually find the bottom. Is this the bottom of the bear market? Well, probably not. Why? Because the Fed is still adamant about hiking interest rates. So until the moment comes that Jerome Powell, who I did discuss in one of my previous videos, which you can check right here, until he says, yes, we're going to stop hiking rates, even if it's like a year from now, the market is going to start pricing it in. So we have to wait for that moment. And until that moment comes, the bear market is not over. And this move that I'm saying right now, that Bitcoin is bullish, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that this is the bottom of the market. Now, why? Well, first of all, it doesn't really seem like a bottom has struck just yet. Let me tell you why. Because we had a huge down move, right? And what we see right now is just something that looks like a big correction pattern. And after a huge move and a huge correction pattern, a huge move down can ensue as well. So it is likely that Bitcoin could keep moving towards the 10K level if these rate hikes are still going to keep going on. So why do I think that Bitcoin has the potential to move up now? Well, because the market is kind of slowing down and stabilizing. And also we're in this correction pattern and inside of this zone of consolidation, right? We have a strong zone of support up on top, a strong zone of resistance down at the bottom, and price is not moving beneath or above any of those until we see some huge news from the market. And what is this huge news that's going to push the market below this strong 18K zone of support or above this zone of resistance? Well, it's going to be CPI news, FOMC, Powell speaking, and world events, right? So that's something you need to follow as well. But if you don't follow it, you can check out the Satoshi Club socials in the description below to learn a little bit more about what I'm talking about. So what we can see right here is a nice little zone that is a downtrend, right? And we can see the price is slowly starting to slow down. So what does this mean? Well, first and foremost, we can see one of the leading indicators that I like to use for a reversal in the market. We can see a divergence in the relative strength index. So as the price is moving down and creating lower lows, the RSI is creating higher highs, which means there's a divergence. And also by simple price action, you can see that we had a huge move up, huge move down, and then it's just kind of like slowing down, right? And kind of evening out. And what happens after you have a bearish move and then a bearish move and then a consolidation? Well, usually you just start moving bullish, and that's what I'm waiting for right now. So with the start of next week, right, don't do anything on the weekend, but we're gonna have to see what type of news we're gonna see in the market next week, how the market opens, what we're expecting to hear from the Fed and large institutions out there, and according to that, see if Bitcoin has found an intermediate bottom at this point right now. And I tend to believe that it has, but I always tend to give myself more options because I'm not trying to predict the market. I'm merely trying to react to what the market gives me. And that's a very important part of trading because it lets you stay unbiased, right? So what I've plotted right here is a very simple zone of resistance where the previous high was reached. We can have two targets even if you want to play it that way, but I prefer to have the bigger target around the 25k level because it is a psychologically significant zone, and it also does represent the top of this sort of correction pattern right here. So in case the Bitcoin does make a strong break right here and a potential retracement, we are likely going to move up. But if Bitcoin does make a break below and start moving below the 18k level, and this would be ideal to see on the daily or even weekly time frame. So if we see a weekly candle closing below this area right here, we can almost certainly say that Bitcoin is moving down into the 10k mark. So I hope you enjoyed this little market review. How to find the bottom and how to find the top. Well, you just got to look for the signs. You know, you got to look for fundamentals, you got to look for technicals. And for example, let me just tell you about the previous situation. So this was the top of the previous market, and did I catch it? No, I didn't catch it. But what I did catch is the fact that the Fed said we're going to increase interest rates from now on. And then what happened? The market started pushing down, but then the market made a first correction pattern right here. So you can see a very clear correction pattern. And what's going to happen once the market starts increasing rates? We're still having problems with inflation at these points. So what are we going to do? Well, the market is still going to keep moving down because rates are still going to keep happening. So instead of taking advantage of the entire move, right, exactly from the top and catching a huge, massive trade that would be very, very risky to take because we don't know where the top is, what I did was I took a trade right here when, you know, the market already started moving down, already established the presence, already showed that it did have some downside going on and that it did have potential to move more down, and that the fundamentals aligned with the technicals. And that's a way more secure trade to take, way less risky, and way more, you know, a better, not necessarily a better risk to reward, but you're playing with more factors and more confluences that play into your trade idea, allowing you to have a higher probability of having a winning trade. So that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed this little Bitcoin insight. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below with your favorite thoughts, check out the Satoshi socials, and I will see you all in the next one.